This week in Math Lab, what we're going to be studying is fractions and decimals and how to convert between them, how to change a fraction into a decimal and a decimal into a fraction. Of course, it's going to stay the same value, the same number, but we're just going to change the form between a fraction and a decimal. What we're also going to do is look at some of our unit fractions that we can memorize, what their decimal equivalent is, to make it a lot easier when we're looking at some more complex fractions and decimals and when we're comparing and ordering our fractions. So the first I want to look at is 1/2. The way we write 1/2, we're going to draw a picture. So we're going to draw a circle, and I'm going to write 1/2 underneath it. Now, I want you to label this because when we're talking about fractions, the numerator, the top number, is the part, and the denominator, the bottom number, is the whole. So what this is telling us is that there are two pieces to the circle. So I'm going to divide my circle into two pieces. 1, 2. And the part that is taken is 1. So there's 1 out of 2 pieces taken. Now, if I want to find out what decimal 1/2 is, I need to divide it to figure out the decimal. So I have one whole, 2 parts, and I have 1 of those. So I'm going to do 1 divided by 2. Now, 2 does not go into 1. So I need to add a decimal, which means I bring it straight up, and a 0. I'm still putting 2 into 1 whole, but now I'm going to get a decimal answer. I put my decimal at the top, and I'm going to try 2 into 10. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. And I have 0 left over. So my decimal for 1/2 is 0.5. 1/2 equals 0.5. That is my decimal equivalent for my fraction. Now, let's look at an example involving money. If you know this coin, this is a quarter. This is a quarter right here. So I'm going to circle. This is a quarter. If you want to be writing this example, that would be great, taking these notes. I have a quarter, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that make up my dollar. For my fraction, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 coins, and I'm going to color in one of them. So I'm talking about 1 out of 4 quarters. Now, if you know money at all, 1 out of 4 quarters, and 4 quarters make up 1 whole dollar. 1 whole dollar. So 1 out of the 4 quarters in that dollar, 1/4 of that dollar is how much money? Write it down. Do you know how much money 1/4 is? 1/4 of a dollar, 1/4? It's 25 cents, which is 0.25. Like if I wrote, I have $5.25, I would write 5.25. That's showing me that I have $5.25, 0.25. So 1 out of 4 quarters, 1/4 of a dollar is 0.25. This is true of the fraction 1/4. 1/4 is equal to 0.25, 25 hundredths. 25 hundredths is 1/4. So now we've seen 2 fractions converted into decimals. Let's try a bit of a harder one. We're going to use money again, and this time we're going to talk about, here's the dollar. 1/10 of a dollar. 1/10 of a dollar means that there are 10 coins, 10 of these coins that make up a dollar, and I want one of them, 1/10 of the dollar. So this dollar is equal to 10 of a certain coin. If you know what coin that is, I want you to write it on your recording document. What coin is there that 10 of them, if you have 10 of them, you have a dollar? That is the dime. The dime. If you have 2 dimes, that's 20 cents. 3, that's 30. 4 is 40. 5 is 50 cents. So 10 is a dollar. So I want to figure out what decimal that is. So my fraction, I know, is 1 out of 10. 1 dime out of 10, and I want to figure out what decimal that is. Well, a dime, if I was going to write that for money, if I have $5, if I have a $5 bill and a dime, that would be written like this: $5.10. So I have 5 whole dollar bills and 10 cents. So my decimal, 1 dime out of 10, which makes up a dollar, would be written 0.10. 1/10 is written 0.10. It can also be written without that 0.1. If I know anything about place value, which I should remember, this decimal, this place after the decimal, is the tenths place. So 1/10 is actually 1 out of 10, which makes sense. 1/10 is 1 out of 10, so 1/10 is written as 0.10. Now we're going to do some practice in a minute, but what I want you to do right now is find your next video on your lesson page. So go back to your lesson page. You can click the tab at the bottom, the red tab. Go to your next lesson, click on the link, and I want you to watch that and take notes on your recording document for me.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.